Mr. Bill Hamilton Esquire. This will probably be the only time you'll get this from me. Hey y'all, hey, welcome to my channel. Hi, I am Shar and I'm your recap auntie. Welcome to my channel. Hi, how are you? I'm good. Thanks for asking. I'm good. Hey, we here for another episode. Consistency is key. I just finished having me like a nice breakfast bowl from this place in my city. We had like a crab cake with grits and eggs and a little bit of green onions, some hollandaise sauce, some side piece of bacon, some bacon. So if y'all see a little grit in my mouth, I should have just rinsed out my mouth before I came on camera, but I wanted to get this done. So straighten up my lights. It's good. It was good. Ooh, it was so good. Anyway, hey y'all, welcome to my channel. We are here to talk about episode number. Is it 34 or 35? I think it's 35. I think 35. If not, I'll put it up on the screen up here or in my title. I think it's 35. Yeah, I think it's 35. I normally don't get that wrong. Maybe it was them grits at breakfast this morning, baby. Because I really don't eat breakfast, but I wanted it this morning. So, how y'all doing? Y'all doing good? Y'all hanging in there? Remember, you got this. Today's episode was fairly good. The whole Smitty Martin, mad ass Martin, that's what I'm gonna call him, mad ass Martin, because Martin stay mad. What's wrong with you? You don't never get it together. It was all right. Y'all know I'm gonna tell you the truth. It was all right. I mean, at the end, poor Danny, like I said, poor Danny. But Bill, all right. I mean, you know, you ain't never really been on my good side, but it's, we'll see how long that's going to last. Anyway, we open at Bill's office with Naomi asking him if he's going to say something about her dropping the case. Because remember last episode, she was like, I'm dropping this damn case. He just wondering, like, what brought this change of mind? Like, I don't get it. I don't trust you making this decision. And she tells him the lawsuit is not going away. You just don't have to worry about her being in charge anymore. And he feels that, okay, Moo review, y'all. Y'all already saw the Moo. And this, laptop for notes. And so she tells him, he feels that he's being set up. She said, ain't no tricks, Pat. Ain't no tricks. Yeah, look, she's already filed the notice of appearance and he can check the courts if he like. He said, no, I ain't falling for that shit. I really feel like you set me the hell up. So Naomi tells him that there's nothing to fall for. You ain't worried about that. He is not getting out of anything except for their family reunion. They're going to join that family reunion in the courtroom. So he still ain't buying it. He has her whole life. He knows her whole life, and she making a chess player move. She's always 3 moves ahead of everything. This sudden change is not like her. So Naomi tells him that her clients did get a new attorney, and he says, how did that happen? She was like, well, they had trouble finding another attorney before, because everybody was afraid to do a case against him because he is a beast in the courtroom. So she wound up reaching out to somebody that she knew at one of the street law firms on Big K, like K Street in DC. That's a really famous area because, again, I'm from DC. So I know K Street. K Street back in the day used to be something else, but now it's more gentrified. Okay? So she got one of those people from the K Street to do that. And so he was like, oh, I bet you he's going to be a real loser. She was like, well, she is my soror. So, yeah, she finna come up in there. So he still can't believe why she stepped out of it. She said that some fights are just not worth the collateral damage. And so she gives this speech right before she leaves, telling him that she wished him all the luck with the case, but if she will be lying if she said that. It was a long speech. You know how when they go through their lawyer banter, the plaintiff, blah, 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 and the said case, and this lawyer, and this attorney, and I'm like, y'all, I'm not writing all this down. I'm not writing it. It is boring to me. I'm not a lawyer, so all those terms and stances and dialogues between her and him, it just went too much. I wanted just to break it down to the lowest common denominator, and that's what I did. So he tells her that, wait a minute, you just can't walk away and try to go ghost without answering my few questions. So he plays with her intelligence and tells her that she probably quit because she figured out that the case was a loser and that the clients were misrepresenting the facts since they used to work for him. And so she was like, weren't you ready to settle with these fraudulent clients, the ones you claimed that were misrepresenting the facts? And he was like, well, just say that I was like pretty much saving money and time. That's all. That's what I call it. She's like, no, I called it knowing that I was going to kick your ass in that courtroom. That's what I call it. Because he knew he didn't have a leg to stand on. So he said that she pretty much left them hanging because he claims his law firms is like the juggernaut of all law firms, and she would be walking away. No, they will be walking away with the victory, which is why he really feels like she quit. But they said more than that. But like I said, I just didn't feel like writing all that shit down. So she told him that all she said was like, all what you just said, Dad, was a load of shit. Don't play with me. That's not my style. And I'm not afraid of you at all. He was like, I know that. I know that. He said, that's why I'm trying to figure out, why did you drop this case? He's like, I really think that you really took this case because of what I did to your mammy. Not because of some crusader feminist that you are, since the activities in that office was so wrong against the law. That's what I said. So she goes on this rant about how he obliterated their family. He married her best friend. She watched her mom's light dim day by day. She saw her in tears all the time. And you just didn't betray Mammy, you betrayed me. He's like, that's what it is. Thank you for proving my point. This was a chance to show what kind of bad man I am. Why you just didn't take it? I mean, you had a chance to show the court so you could pay me back. So she tells him that it's all of what he said is not true. He said that she shouldn't have touched the case. And he was right. That's what she said. She said that when you told me not to touch the case, you were right. I shouldn't have touched it. It's a conflict of interest. It is not right. And it'll make everything very, very messy. And especially with me being your daughter. So he grills her, asking her if it was something that Haley said, because he does know that her and Haley had a conversation. Did something she say change her mind? And she was like, hell no. She said, I did give her the common courtesy so that I could listen to her ass, but she's still a liar and a cheat. So he says that you said the same thing about me. You had the perfect setup to expose me. Why back out of it now, especially when you have a chance to like embarrass me and expose me in court? So she said it was a conflict of interest to protect her clients. And she was like, geez, Dad. I'm like, girl, did we say that? Geez, Dad. And then she turns her back when she walks away from him. And he starts to smile. And he says, Naomi, I know you. And I don't believe you. I know you. You're my daughter. We've had arguments. We've practiced cases together. I know you. And whatever is wrong is written all over your face. It's written all over your face. So she says, fine. Maybe I'm just scared. And he says, scared? I mean, you're the baddest attorney that I know next to me. And so while he was talking, he was like, rubbing on his hand. That's what happens when he's having that numbing in his hand. So she tries to tell him that she said her piece. She said everything she needed to say, so just forget it. But he just won't give it up. He just want to keep grilling her. So he said that you haven't said anything. You talking about you talked about peace, but you ain't said shit to me. You've been dancing around it since you walked in here. What the fuck is wrong? So she finally says, okay, because I love you, Dad, okay? I mean, life is short, and I love you too much to ruin whatever time we have left. So he's still squeezing that damn hand. So she asks him why they just can't just have a conversation without you acting like we in court. God dog it. So he says he misses her too. He feels that if he don't get a chance to see her with these clients in this court case, that he probably won't get a chance to see her at all, which I thought was sweet. He was enjoying the fact of her coming over there, and he was looking forward to the fact of them going to court because he had a chance to see his daughter, because he knows that if it wasn't that, Chelsea and Naomi wouldn't come see him. He wouldn't. So he was like, I just couldn't wait to see you. I wanted to see you, you know. So he was happy to have his daughter back, even as an adversary, and he wasn't going to let her go without a fight. So, which is why he kept asking her what was wrong. So she gets a lot off her chest, and she tells him that I'm still mad with your ass, but I love you though. And he says, I know it. So he tries to lean in for a hug. He said, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I know you're not ready for a hug, but I do love you. So should I talk about this asshole? Yeah, I'll do. So Naomi leaves, and she went home to talk to Jacob about her decision. And he was like, I'm here for you, girl. And she's like, I know, boo. Because, the first episode we met them, it was in bed. Now we see them in bed, but they weren't tossing around like they did in episode number 1. So he was like, just lay your head. She's like, I just want you to hold me. So he held her. I think they're a really, really great looking couple. So that's pretty much it with them. So we get back to the office. And then look who walks in, looking like he's a 1950s newspaper reporter with the cut and the suit. He looked like he was like from Spider-Man. Was Spider-Man? Yeah, Spider-Man back in the day, working at the Daily Planet. Mike fucking Davis showed up. Comes to Bill's office and say, word around the water cooler that Naomi came by. Now I'm like, Naomi came by a lot. Why now? Why all of a sudden now you notice that she came by? So he was like, yep, she just left a while ago. He was like, good news or bad news? Is Mike. Bill was like, a bit of both. I mean, probably the headline is that Naomi is withdrawing from the case. Her clients have a new representation. So Mike was like, hot damn. I don't care who the new lawyers are. Those poor schmucks. This calls for a celebration. And Bill was like, so Mike was like, oh, come on, Bill. Let's change the whole game plan. We need to re-examine all of our options now. And Bill tells him, yes, we damn do. So Mike was like, so who are these chumps anyway? I could have the associates dig up some dirt on them by the morning. And Bill was like, not necessary, Mike, not necessary. You don't have to do that. And so Mike was like, we finally got a chance to get ahead of this for once. We shouldn't waste no time, man. So Bill was like, oh, we agree completely. And I intend to going on with this very minute. So Mike was like, Bill, what the fuck you talking about? So Bill was like, I'm talking about you, Mike. You out. You are a liability and you're out. So Mike was like, out of the case? And no, Bill was like, no, out of this damn firm. The partners and I are expelling you, effective immediately. So Mike was like, man, I thought we was friends. I thought we was boys. I thought we was pals. So Bill was like, save that shit for the golf course, man. This is business. And make no mistake, while the partners agreed, this was my fucking call. I decided to do away with your ass. So that's the reason why I went on and clapped my hands at the beginning for Bill, because Bill, we don't expect this from him. We really don't, especially how he deals with Danny, and he loves his daughters. I hate that Naomi walked away from it, but if she feels the way she feels, then girl, walk away. So that was good. I mean, that part was good. Samantha Smitty trying to teach her how to do like poses. And so Tyrell was like, wow, Dad, he's Dad. Wow, Dad, I didn't know that you knew how to model. And Smitty was like, nah, I just liked a lot of modeling shows, competition shows. So Mad Ass Martin, that's what I'm going to start calling his name. Mad Ass Martin comes in after being asked by a reporter about those pictures. So this reporter sent the pictures of Tyrell wearing those chessboard draws. And so it sends it over to Martin, because remember, Tyrell never told them why he was being bullied. So Martin was like, why did I have to find out about this from a reporter? And Tyrell was like, well, how did you get it? Because the school that we go to, although it's a public school, it has very secure internet. So how did you get it? Well, one of your classmates, fool, the reporter's son goes to your school, so he showed his pappy. So the reporter was like, look, before this gets out, I want to share with you first. So Martin somehow paid the reporter off and told him that, or her, whoever it was, that, if there's a big story that's coming out, you'll be the first to know. So that was like their swap. I thought it might be president, but all the shit that Tyrell told them, I don't know if Martin is going to feel comfortable about being president. Tyrell kept telling Martin, like, let me handle this. I'll handle it, Dad. I've been handling it this whole time. And no, Martin don't hear shit. No, we got to do something about this. This doesn't make any sense. You should be protected. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, look, that's the reason why I'm getting bullied, because this is just a little bit of it. I'm always been teased about being an orphan, about being a congressman kid, that he only bought you, just a lot of, kids can be mean as hell. Kids are mean as fuck. They can be mean. So he's been teased. So he was like, I don't want you to just be using your power and your influence to come in there and try to wreck shop. That's not what we about. So Martin don't listen. And so Tyrell, as they always do, run upstairs. Smitty tries to talk to him like, man, if you step in, what's going to happen is that, like how Samantha the word was rebel last week that I can remember. You keep telling him all this stuff that you're going to go up there and try to, fix this and fix that he's going to rebel. He's going to really be mad with you and you ain't going to know what to do. I don't give a fuck. I'm going up to that school to make sure I handle this. So he leaves. Even after his fine-ass pappy, Ted told him, don't do it. Smitty says, don't do it. Tyrell says, it's like Martin gets in his own way. I want to hear Taurus, because that's my side. We get stubborn. We get to do what we want to do. No matter what you want us to do, we're going to do it. So he just busts out the door and going to go up to that school and just make a whole mess of it. And he told, Martin had told Tyrell and Samantha that they wanted them to go to a normal school, like a public school. Of course, they could afford a private school, but they wanted them to have a very normal life, which they not. Like, what was you thinking? Them kids ain't going to treat them kids because they got two pappies, which was really not really the issue. It was the issue of the fact that his father was a congressman. He's about, I can write bills that can change towns, but I can't even handle my own child in my own house. Yeah, because you don't know how to negotiate real good. You know how to make commands and demands, but you don't know how to negotiate and talk to these kids. That boy said, I got it. Let me handle this. Okay, anyway, poor Danny. Danny's at the house listening to some old school 1990s. It sounds like Brandy-ish songs. Which at the same time she's downing a whole bottle of some white liquor, and she does her Naomi Campbell walk looking fabulous, and she texts herself in the mirror with her lipstick, and then she calls Andre for some sexy fun. So whenever, I guess he has her in his phone, like under some sexy picture, he's like, man, you should have seen that picture that I have of you when you give me a call. So I was like, all of us do that. When we have somebody that we feeling, we better make sure nobody ain't around, but it's a picture. It could be a picture, or it could be just a picture, depending on what you think. So, so Andre tells her just to say the word, and he's there because she was like, I got something for your ass. And so he said, just tell me the word, baby, and I am there. She says, word. It's like, so he says, well, wait, right now? So he's in the middle of something. She was like, well, that's something that's just going to have to wait, because I'm going to put on a show for you, and you are my VIP guest. And so Andre was like, a show? Huh? What kind of shows we talking about? She said, let's just say that we'll make your wildest fantasies look tame, but you better hurry your ass up. And so he was like, why is that? She said, because I have a special outfit picked out just for you. And hint, hint, hint. It is my birthday suit. He was like, damn, girl, click. Be right back. So while he just hung up the phone with Danny, Jacob with his suspicious looking ass. This was like right before he was laying in bed with Naomi. He pops up at the hospital with some perp. So he runs into Andre, and he tells Andre, like, yeah, man, I heard you've been trying to kick it or talk with Ashley. He was like, man, look, it's just for the documentary. He's like, damn, word around here spreads fast. He's like, anyway, because he's best friends with Ashley and Derek, and he don't want Andre to be cock blocking. So he's like, yeah, man, I know this baddie upstairs who's a nurse, and think you might like her. And so he was like, you want to go up there? She's a certified baddie. I'm sure you, you like what you like. And Andre was like, that's when he got the text from Danny. He was like, nah, man, I got something else I need to do. He was like, wait a minute, you turning down a baddie? That's more important. He was like, yeah, it's really that important. He left. So you know how Jacob be with that eyebrow looking all suspicious. So I'm like, man, get out of people's business. You're a detective, but I think sometimes you don't know how to take that detective hat off. He gonna find out that Andre and Danny kicking it. I don't know how he gonna do it, but he gonna definitely say, man, guess what? Andre is fucking your mammy. Or my mother-in-law, however way you want to call it, because you remember Danny is Naomi's mama. So, yeah, we saw Danny dancing, looking at her younger pic, and playing some me music. Everybody got a fuck me playlist. Everybody. Don't tell me that you don't have a screw me or do me playlist. I know you do. Or you got a Pandora channel or a Spotify song list that when it's at night, that song list gets you right. All right? Okay. So, and she dressed in this super cute dress. It was like the back was out. It was really cute. So she's looking in the mirror, again, putting on her makeup, giving herself a little wink. So she's back to doing her walk again, tipsy as hell. And then she twirls, and she sounds like she's laughing or crying out. And it was a mixture of both. So Andre finally gets there. He picks her up and takes her to picks her up literally, and in his arms. She's like, oh, you're here. Oh, you're very strong. And she's just giggling while he carries her to the bedroom. And she's giggling and talking about, baby, I got to do a show for you. No. He was like, look, there was a strange song that was playing in the background, not at her house, but, the show music. And he gave her a pill and some water. I don't know where that pill came from. Do people use pills to help shake them up out of a hangover? I don't know. I hope that she don't get addicted to those pills because of Andre. I don't know, but him giving her that pill, that was the first time I ever saw her do that. So, she laid back down. And so he's about to leave. So she pops up. She's like, oh, no, you can't leave. You can't leave. I have to do this show. He was like, some other time, baby, you get your rest. No, you got to stay. I got to do this show. So she turns on this stripper song and he sits down. And so she twirls and tells him, okay, you can hold me now. And so he gets up and they kiss. And she looks worried as hell as he's like holding her and squeezing her. I'm like, what was that look about? Was it because she's still suffering from depression, or she's just sad of all the shit that's happening to her? What is she going to do? What is her next move? It's like, it was weird of that look that she had on her face. And so Vanessa, with her fast ass, she arrives at the country club gym. She's early. Diego greets her and tells her that she's early. She says, it pays to be early. You never know what you might miss. So Diego's like, I like that attitude. And so he whispers, he says, one of their out-of-town members booked a guest room, but one of his flights got delayed. So she's like, oh, so it's just sitting there all nice and empty? He was like, yeah, what a waste, right? I wonder if it might be a good place to do some private workouts, because it has the space this afternoon. It would give us a lot of room to stretch out. And so she was like, oh, it does sound so tempting. All that privacy. I can scream and yell and holler all I want. I can stretch, all of that. So he was like, should I snag a key? So she thinks about it. She's like, no, second thought. I think I prefer the gym. And she walks away. So Diego tells Vanessa that she seems to be pretty off her game today after they finished the workout. So she tells him it's been very hectic, with all these clients and shit. So Diego was like, maybe things will lighten up once you sell a home or two and get some people off your plate. So she's like, what do you mean some people? You mean Joey Armstrong? They always have to say his whole damn name. So Diego tells her that Joey has her distracted and it's not his job to keep her focused And it's his job to keep her focused on her fitness goals. So she asked him, does he think that her relationship with Joey is not strictly professional? And so Diego was like, well, where I'm standing from, Vanessa was like, then maybe you should change your vantage point. I was like, okay. So we go to the hospital. So we see Dougie at the hospital standing with nurse boss Shanice. And he tells her that O'Brien surgery went smoothly and the patient is an outpatient right now. So Shanice says that he is just a ray of sunshine today. I mean, this is like your second surgery today. He was like, yeah, just keep paying the bills, getting the bills paid, you know. She said, Shanice was like, and then some. And he was like, what you talking about, girl? She was like, I looked over your schedule, sir, and over the next few days, and all of a sudden you're booked solid. One procedure after another after another. And Dougie was like, is that a problem? She was like, even machines need an oil change name. And do you want me to hit up the scheduling team and see if there's another surgeon who can help lighten your load? So he was like, no, thank you. I set it up that way. So she said, but your ass ain't even been this busy since, shit, I can't even remember. Somebody's chasing that paper, honey, hard. So Shanice tells him that she wasn't playing earlier about what she said about getting his schedule changed. She knows you love your patients. However, if you need a minute, he says, Shanice, that he's good. He is in his flow so that we can be clear. I set my schedule based on the patient's need, nothing else, okay? So I will say, I put this little note in parentheses. In this scene with Shanice, I've never seen Dougie cute. It's like I've never seen him look cute before. I mean, he's an attractive man, but I never saw him in a cute space. He looked good standing there with his doctor uniform on. He was really cute. I was like, okay, I see you. And he had a different conversation with Shanice that he's had with Vanessa. I don't know. It was different. They seemed like they were friends. Okay. So getting back to the script, he said, I set my own schedule based on my client's needs. Okay. She said, okay, if you say so. So Dougie says that now he has a quick break. He's about to go to the gym, and that's what he's gonna run into Vanessa and Diego. But anyway, Randy gets off the elevator as Dougie was about to leave, and he, of course, he's there on a mission, of course. Earlier, Randy was on the phone with Joey, and Joey told him, you need to go over there and visit our boy because he owed me. We on a mission. So Randy was like, Dr. Doug, just the man I was looking for. So Dougie playing like some game with Randy talking about, so you hear about your uncle's surgery, right? So, Shanice is nosy as hell. She listening in the background. So Randy's like, man, are you taking too much of that anesthesia? What's going on? It's gone to your damn head. So Dougie drags Randy to the lobby and away from nosy ass Shanice. So Dougie asks him, what the fuck you doing here? Did Joey send you over here to come back and drag my ass back to the tables? He's trying to do right by gambling, and he's not that damn stupid. So they just finished talking, and so they split screens, and then Dougie was on the phone talking about that robotic heart thing that he's been working on. He's going to take that approach tomorrow for this next surgery that he's doing. So we see Shanice again in the background walking by. So Dougie goes back to sit down and finish his conversation with Randy, and he says, man, you called me last night. Randy, remember Dougie had called Randy, was really sounding really shaky on the phone. So I want to come out here and check on my day one. You sounded like you was like out of it. He was like, man, he's like, when I was up there doing that surgery, I couldn't help but think about the next game, my next bet, how I'm almost lost everything, my career, my patient's trust, and my freedom. If things would have went for the worse, he would have took with the jail. So he wants to know, when he's going to come back to the casino, because everybody's been asking about him, because you like the golden goose, you like to win all the shit. And Dougie was like, man, I'm going cold turkey. I cannot lose this hospital gig work. So Randy is back on the phone with Joey, and he told Joey that he did what he asked. Doug was not happy to see him, that he was going to go do some gambling. He was done with gambling, and he was like, yeah, we're going to keep waiting for his ass, because we know them, when you're an addict, you get that itch, and that itch will overcome any type of addiction. So he gonna come back and he gonna get that itch back. So they waiting for him. So Dougie comes to the country club gym while Vanessa and Diego are talking. Vanessa says, well, look who it is. Dr. Feelgood himself just laid it on thick. She's like, what happened? I thought you were at the hospital. You out there, you got a lot of broken hearts to mend, while rubbing all over him right in front of Diego. So Vanessa shows some shade to Diego and tell him that maybe Dougie can work out with him since he's so passionate about his clients' workouts. So he will work out he will work you out in a bit. So Diego apologizes and says, "Man, Dr. Feelgood, Dr. Dougie, my schedule is way too full. I'm not able to squeeze nobody in it." So Dougie's like, "It's cool, no biggie. He can do some solo work." And so Vanessa was like, "No, boo-boo, no. I beg to differ, honey. You need a spotter, preferably if your heart decides to take an impromptu vacation. I don't need your heart to be stopping and ain't nobody there to spot you." So she turns to Diego and with this dead look in her eyes and tells him, "You heard my husband. He is doing the Lord's work, saving lives. Surely you can spare an hour," she says. So Diego tries to offer another trainer. Diego cuts him off and tells him, "No, only the best for my hubby," with a wicked smile on her face. And then she kisses Doug on the lips right there in front of Diego. I was like, she's such a tramp. And I haven't said tramp in a long time, but if ever. But she gave tramp vibes. She really did. So Diego changes his mind and asks him to hit the gym with him. Doug agrees, and Vanessa bites her lip as if she got them both by the balls. And I think that was it. Yeah, that was the whole episode. I didn't skip anything. I don't like those pills that Andre gave her. I don't like that. Because it was a very ominous song that was playing while Andre was giving her those pills. I never seen Andre the type to be a supplier like that, but who knows? They had like a really smart little small snippet of he was on the phone talking to his Paris people about the photos that he had taken with the lions, and they said that it was a bad batch. He was like, wait a minute, they should be good. I don't know what that was about. They dropped that in there for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, Martin with his mean ass. He just mean for some reason. He don't have no reason to be. Like I said, I think he's Vernon's son. And I think that because Nicole and Ted were not able to have kids, I think Vernon had an affair on Anita while Anita was on tour. And back then, all of those civil rights people, man, they had children all over the place. We might not know about them, but they did. And I think he had a baby. The mother died. And so Nicole and Ted raised him. And Kat is their natural born daughter. That's what I feel. But it was all right. It was an okay episode. I was really happy for Bill for firing Mike's ass with his old nasty ass. He was ready to just go ahead and find all this stuff on people. Bill was like, nah, I'm living a new leaf. I might be a new pappy. And, I can't wait to meet the other partners. Who are the other partners, Bill? The only partner we only know is Mike. Who are the other partners? But other than that, it was good. It was a decent show. I can't wait to see the next episode. I'm going to try to maybe stop talking so fucking fast. Because sometimes when I say Naomi, I'll be like, Naomi, Bill. I'll be so excited to talk about this show. But I don't want to sound fake. I don't want to be like, Naomi said that G's dad. No, that's not how I talk. I talk quite quick, fast sometimes. Sometimes I do have to take my time so the point can get across, because I almost paused this video a few times to start over. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Y'all like me because I'm myself. The only editing that I'll do is if I have to take a break and then come back, or if I do something at the beginning as a teaser. That's it. I ain't doing all that and cutting all that shit out. No, I'm not doing that. All right, y'all. I come to the end of the video. I have been rambling on. I'm gonna drink me some water to get all this rest of this grits out of my mouth. And that was a good meal. It was good. Let me go back to work. And next week is going to be a little off because I do have to go out of town with my job for a few days. And so I don't know if I have a chance to watch the show. So just know it'll be a little bit more delayed than usual. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you probably won't get an episode, no videos from me. But it's okay. I'll be back. I'll catch up. I'll pick up from the whatever episode I left off last. So, but in the meantime, in between time, you have me here. We're going to keep having fun. We're going to ride this until we can't ride it no more. And that's about it. I'm still waiting. I know y'all like, Shar, like, you got to put in the atmosphere. Closed mouths don't get fed, baby. Squeaky's wheel gets the oil. All of those cliches. You don't get it unless you ask. The Bible says, knock and the door will be open unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, overflowing, shall men give unto your bosom. So I'm waiting for them to give. Yes. All right. Y'all take it easy. I will see y'all in the next video. Love ya. You got this. All right. Bye.